So we'll see this Brahmacharya Sukta, which is found in the Atharva Ved. First of all, understanding the word Sukta, as we said, Sukta means a section, a part, a chapter, right, in the Vedas, then Sukta. Now, this one is Brahmacharya Sukta, right? We will see the definition. Mais normalement, quand nous cause Brahmacharya Sukta, it's usually what we call the student life, right? Quand nous cause Brahmacharya, c'est ça, the student life. Yes, Brahmacharya Sukta talks about the student life, mais pas seulement student life. Parce que le mot brahmacharya actually means celibacy. Celibacy, c'est quoi? Veut dire, qui nous appelle célibataire, etc. C'est quoi? That is, we don't have a partner. Okay. Bon, you are all grown up. I guess I can talk about. Quand nous disons un partner, veut dire quoi? Emotionally, sensually, sexually, we are aroused, we are active. C'est ça qui veut dire we have a partner, normalement, emotionally, sensually, etc. Right? Donc, when we say we are celibate, means we don't have these aspects in our lives, sexual, sensual, emotional things. We don't have that in our life. Right? Bon, pas dire we don't have emotions for others, but I guess you know what I'm trying to say. So brahmacharya means celibacy, that is control upon the senses. C'est ça qui veut dire brahmacharya in true sense. Littéralement, brahmacharya means student life. Là, comment c'est brahmacharya, student life. Littéralement, il veut dire ça. But the inner significance of it is what? To be celibate, right? To be celibate, that is observing celibacy, it means control upon the senses. That is the real meaning of brahmacharya. Okay. Maintenant, celibacy. Can celibacy be observed only when we are a student? Like you, Nidyala, you are all in brahmacharya stage of life. You are learning, you are studying, right? Is celibacy only for this type of people who are in this your category, for example, like student life? No, it is not. Celibacy is observed or can be observed by anyone in any stage of life at any age, right? I take my example, you are the students, right? Obviously, we need to be celibate when we are students because our focus should be on studies, right? Let's take my example, I'm married, yet I can practice celibacy. That is control upon the senses. Let's say, you know, il y a une affaire very famous, ça, quand Madame Moyer, il y a tout souvent de travail à faire, etc. Souvent, des fois, il y a une crise, etc. Il y a une colère, etc. So that is one way to control the senses, right? Controlling the anger. Ou bien another way. When I'm married, I'm committed to a person. I should not have an extramarital affair. That is one way to practice celibacy, right? And you know, when you get married, when we enter the grihastha ashram, that is when we get married, you know, every day is not honeymoon type, right? So there should be celibacy. At times there are festivals, there are fastings, right? So celibacy should be there. Ici, comme on peut call celibacy in terms of grihastha ashram, it means control upon the sensual and the sexual urges also. Even in Dimuninga, 70 ans, he entered the Vanprastha ashram, the sannyas ashram, still he has to observe celibacy, right? Donc, il y a deux choses ici là. The literal meaning of brahmacharya, student life, right? But in fact, brahmacharya means celibacy. And I have told you, at any age, any stage of life, celibacy can be practiced, bien should be practiced. D'accord? I continue. So the word brahmacharya is a combination of two syllables, which are Brahma and Charya. Brahma means knowledge. Normalement, quand nous disons Brahma, Brahma means God, the supreme, right? Donc, il referred as knowledge. Brahma, c'est knowledge. And, ou bien God, bien sûr. And Charya means to go in search of. So we are in search of what? We are in search of that knowledge which makes us reach to God, ou bien towards God. That is the search of the knowledge of God. That is the aim of life. Bon, si nous prenons spiritually là, hein, that is the aim of life, to reach God, to have that knowledge, to possess that knowledge, which will lead us towards the supreme, towards our goal, which is moksha, right? So brahmacharya will dire en d'autres mots the path ou bien the search which will lead towards our goal. Towards our goal. How maintenant? Just by sitting at home, things will happen? No. There should be the right effort. C'est ça, charya means to go. To go aussi veut dire faire des efforts, to make the right effort to reach the supreme, right? So this is the meaning of the word brahmacharya. So the Brahmacharya Sukta has dealt with the life as well as the discipline which the ancient student had to observe during the course of his study. When we are saying ancient student, we are referring to the Gurukul system. Referring to the Gurukul system. We know the Gurukul system. People in those days, they were, they went to the Gurukul in a forest. There will be the hermitage where they are going to stay there. They're going to learn under the guidance of a guru, of a spiritual teacher, right? Donc c'est ça. The Brahmacharya Sukta, sa part in the Atharva Veda, Kilikulse, what does it talk about? What does it explain about the life as well as the discipline needed? Life, that is, qui se ban duties, qu'il y en a pour faire, etc. And the discipline which is needed by the student during the course of his study. Because quand il y a le Gurukul, the aim to go to Gurukul is to study, right? And at this age, usually, age l'ipou, normalement, nous disons 0 à 25. 0 qui fait parce que 0, il est toujours avec la maman, le papa, il peut toujours apprendre, right? Mais normalement, quand on est dans Gurukul, c'est at the age of 6. In a 7, in a 8, you know, depending on how the child is evolving or growing, it depends on a certain maturity also, right? Donc, usually, nous disons 0 à 25, but you can write 6 or 7 to 25, right? Donc, we have seen, premières affaires, que in the Brahmacharya Sukta, what does it deal with? The life, the discipline of the student, right? Maintenant, définitivement, pas seulement of the student, parce que if there is a student, there should be a guru as well. Sinon, pas un student, sinon pas un guru. Si pas un student, pas un guru. So, sorry, Brahmacharya Sukta will deal with the student, yes, but alongside with the guru. This means that education was his prime concern. Education was his prime concern. The aim of a student is only education, right? Si nous guettons dans nous modern education system. Okay. Bon, on va vous dire tout comme ça, but we have certain students whom their priority, their prime concern is not education. Et nos enfants à l'école disent pour passer le temps. Je connais, they have to enter their family business. So they come to school, faire tout qualité badinage. This exists, it is there, right? So the whole system has changed. But now I'm telling you about the Mauritian context là, hein? Il n'est pas possible vraiment to apply, you know, the Indian traditional way of education. Nous pas trop capable de compare aussi. But yes, bisa ina and minimum kind of ethics, minimum respect at least. But this is not happening in our days. Même si nous cause India today, don't think that because it's India, so everyone, all the students there, they are perfect. It's not. Parce que our modern educational system has no place in that system. There is no place for spirituality. Quand avant, les enfants, c'était à Gurukul. What was the student learning? The student was learning ce qu'on appelle secular knowledge. That is, you know, the Ved, we have beaucoup chapters, many things have been discussed in Ved. For example, astronomy, astrology, architecture, biology, physics, mathematics, you know, all the subjects qui peuvent penser là existed dans Ved. So this is what they were learning from the Veda, what you call the secular knowledge. And they were also having spiritual knowledge, that is tiena and balance between the academic knowledge or education and the spiritual one. Mais de nos jours, qui nous est balançable, il est vraiment débalancé maintenant, nous avons seulement academic knowledge, right? Bon, je vais montrer plutôt scénario là aussi, là, how things are. And maybe if you're writing an answer, you may include that. Quand vous écrivez un answer, vous autres, of course, you have to refer to the modern times, modern age, how things are happening. Just think about it. If ever we had the Gurukul system where secular knowledge, all the chapters, all the subjects were being taught, but also same equal importance were given to spiritual knowledge, today, today, we would not have been facing all these issues, all these problems. Young people, students are committing suicide, early pregnancies, drugs, okay, but unfortunately this is the case which is happening because our spiritual side is vanishing, it's going, right? So I continue. The aim of the child going to the Gurukul was definitely education, and he had no other objective in life, only education. Because this is the right age to learn. If you come to my age, you can learn, but it won't be the same. You'll have responsibilities, you'll be married, you'll have children, you'll have a house to take care of, a family to take care of, you have a job, you have other commitments. We have a personal life also, right? We have a social life. We need to go to temples, to other activities. Things get difficult. Mais par contre, when you are at this age, qui nous appelle 0 à 25, usually 25, les cas moins ceci for certain, ou bien les cas plus for others, no doubt. But at this age, if our aim is only to learn, to acquire something, let's say to get a degree, nous pouvons apprendre tout aujourd'hui to have a degree and to have a job, right? That is the only aim. So it is the age, here it is the age where we can easily learn, give time to our education, right? And of course, progress in life. The guru for him was not only a teacher, but also a guide, a facilitator, and the spiritual parent of his disciples. When the child goes to the Gurukul, he doesn't have any mother, father, brother, blah, blah, who stays with him. He stays with his other friends in the Gurukul under the guidance of the Guru. This is how it is, right? At times, the biological parents can come to meet the child. At times, les pas des affaires qui happen souvent aussi parce que ils développent attachment. And the Gurukul system comme ça, since the very early age, the child learns detachment. Mais dans nos cas, nous apprenons attachment. Just think about how it is, right? So the guru becomes the teacher. Yes, yeah, he will teach the student, but he is also the guide, the facilitator, the mother, the father of the disciple, even the friend of the disciple, the counselor of the disciple. There is no mother, father, real mother, father there. Donc, the guru takes the place of the mother and the father, right? So as I told you, Brahmacharya Sukta n'est pas seulement about the duties of the student, but also of the guru in the Gurukul. I continue. When the child is admitted at the feet of the guru for the first time, the latter takes possession of the child by keeping him in his womb for 3 consecutive nights. Bon, littéralement, you can't keep someone in your womb comme ça. Keeping in the womb means keeping the child under his care. In the womb, c'est under the care, right? So let's say Kaushik says he decides to enter Gurukul. Premières affaires qu'il peut bien faire, he will have to go to choose his own guru. We have the right to choose our own guru, right? Il finit choisir ce guru. Maintenant, il peut go and ask permission from the guru if I can study under your guidance in your Gurukul. Now, the guru will not say yes or no directly. The guru will have to do a test. Il paraît comme on dit entrance exams, il paraît comme ça. And the test, il fait pour 3 days, ou bien 3 consecutive nights. Okay. This test is very important because c'est ça même qui peut decide the future of the child. This will decide whether the child will be admitted in the Gurukul or not. Ça veut dire quoi? The guru has the right to accept or to refuse a child from learning under his guidance. Mais seulement s'il peut refuse. Refusal should not be because of caste, color, etc. Ça non, loin de là, parce que un guru, pour lui, il a de tout pareil. Il a universal love, universal respect. Il a de tout pareil, right? But when the guru can actually refuse a child, if he thinks the child is not yet prepared. Parce que living in the Gurukul and living at home and going to school, they are 2 different things. At home, you have all your comforts. Everything, right? But in the Gurukul, you have practically nothing. You have to sleep on the floor or bien on the grass, like, ou bien vivre dans une hut. You have to go and fetch your own water, cook your own food, beg for your food. Usually, say the king who gives food, clothes to the Gurukul. Mais pas tous les temps comme si so much available, but the king gives and also they have to beg. Okay. Well, talking about beg, why do they beg, right? Why do they ask for all? because begging, is not something easy to be done. Maybe you can disagree with me, yes, parce que de nos jours, even in Mauritius, begging has become a business. It's true, I have witnessed many cases like this where begging is just a business, right? But loin de là, put aside that modern concept of begging, right? Mais c'est moi, to beg in front of someone is not something easy. Parce que nous avons un ego dans nous. Nous avons un self-respect dans nous. Especially our ego will be hurt, right? But quand nous encore petit, we are learning to beg for food. We are begging for what? For something which we need to survive. Si nous pas sa food là, we are not going to live because we need the food to live. And we are begging for that. It makes the person humble. Begging makes the person humble. And bien sûr, they make the person value the things he has. Zizodi magazis half bread to eat for the whole day. Ça veut dire qu'il peut value the food that I have ou bien that I get. So actually these were done for the child to learn lessons. Okay, but bien sûr le monde in changé. We have, as I told you, begging is now a business. People don't want to work because of laziness, etc. But that is another scenario right now. Bon, back to this maintenant. The child is admitted at the feet of the Guru for the first time, and the child is kept for 3 nights usually. Qu'il y fait, pardon, qu'il y fait for sa 3 nights? That only signifies many things. For the 3 nights, the Guru is going to test the child. Qu'il peut tester the mental, physical, and spiritual well-being of the child, of the student. Mental qui fait, parce que ils are mentally prepared to grasp all this knowledge. Physically, why? Parce que physically, as I told you, li pa pwena de l'eau chaud pour baigner, comment faire frais, nous besoin de l'eau chaud. We have our AC, we have a fan, we have this and that, etc. Mais là-bas, non, li besoin dormir en bas, gain frais comme ça même, there's nothing more, right? And also he is going to test the spiritual well-being of the child. He's going to learn spirituality. He is going to see whether he fit, whether he mature enough, whether he ready to learn spirituality, right? So I continue. This is quite symbolical because the 3 nights, this symbolize the 3 types of evils. Okay. Bon, une façon qui me dit to explain the 3 nights, c'est ça. Another way, the 3 nights represent 3 types of evils. And the Guru is going to protect the child from the 3 evils, from the three types of evil, which are Adhyatmik, Adhibhautik, and Adhidaivik, right? Adhyatmik, Adhibhautik, Adhibhautik, and Adhidaivik, right? These are the 3 types of evils, or you can say sufferings, whatever, okay. Plutôt, let's say evils right now in this case. So, Adhyatmik actually, c'est quoi? C'est de, qui nous appelle internal causes of sufferings. For example, hunger, or disease, or anger. Nous tous nous avons ça quand on a faim ou souffert, right? But li pour apprendre ça aussi in the Gurukul, no, at times during the class you are hungry. You just don't take out your bread and eat. We have to wait for the right time to do that. So these are tests, right? So adhyatmik, adhibhautik means external causes of suffering. For example, you have beasts, you have men, and they cause harm to the other man. You have, like inanimate things like thorns, lame pique, etc. So these are other types of external causes, right? Adhidevik say the supernatural causes. For example, some Hindus believe in planets, planet philosophy, and I believe in ghosts, and I believe in atmosphere, let's say in a tsunami. To ça, c'est supernatural causes which are somehow not in our control, right? So you should know these three types of sufferings. Dans n'importe qui des voies que Dieu peut cause qui nous élimine nos souffrances, etc. So Hinduism talks about these types, three types of sufferings ou bien evils. So you can write that in any work where it fits, right? Donc the guru is going to test the child, right? Dans sa trois façons là. Mental, physical, spiritual. Or you can write that the three knights symbolize that the guru is going to protect the child from these three types of evils. Mais en d'autres mots, he is going to test him actually, right? I continue. The Brahmacharya Sukta has also attributed great importance to the Brahmachari. Brahmachari is just someone who is a student or the celibate, right? Great importance is given to students because they are the future. They belong to the future generation. They belong to the future. They are the youth. They are the one who will bring positive changes, right? So by his tapas, he protects the world. He is with the students now. By the students' tapas, he protects the world. What is tapas? Tapas means his sacrifice, or you can say it means his brilliance. Because when you are learning, you are studying, going to the Gurukul, you are sacrificing many things to do that, right? Ou bien, les carmen brilliance, dans quel sens qu'il Indian education is very brilliant in that way. The enlightened comes in. So he protects the world. Quand il fait ce sacrifice, he's protecting the world directement ou indirectement. Peut-être right now you are not realizing you're protecting the world, but tomorrow when you'll enter the world of of job, of work, etc., you will know. Parce que tout ce qu'on apprend à Stella, you're going to put into practice later on. So even right now, you are protecting the world. Let's say, I give one example. You both, you are now learning, you are studying at this time also, you're also taking tuitions, etc. Fait comme si Kaushik, it's an example, I don't mind. Fait comme si Kaushik dit, yo, qui fait mon besoin apprendre, moi, laisse-moi l'emballer la boutique là-bas, moi, qu'à une pause, things like that. But you are not doing that. You are doing the right thing. You are learning, you are studying. So this is the sacrifice actually students are doing. So directly or indirectly, the student is protecting the world. Ou pas faire un vice, ou pas développer un vice dans ou, but you are doing the right thing, right? He is just like the radiance of the sun, by whose rays enlightens the whole world. The students, they are the radiance of the sun, right? Il paraît que moi, je commence à soleil qui un soleil qui peut lever maintenant. Right, the sunrise. You're still learning, you're still studying, you're still polishing yourself, refining yourself. Then will come the time when you will come out completely and you're going to shine, right? I think I can be a poet, right? So the brahmachari is the one in whom the devas meet in concern. The devas Vidya, the gods, the demigods, right? Bon, God in himself, yeah, sure, but now we are telling the demigods, right? The demigods shower their love, their blessings on brahmacharis, right? The gods, they are pleased when we learn, when we study, when we read scriptures, etc. Right? This means that the brahmachari has within him all the good qualities which are similar to the devas. This has been stated in the Atharva Ved. A brahmachari li paraît comme un deva. Deva, that is God. Parce que il peut learn, il peut polish, il peut develop virtues. Bien sûr, the brahmachari is not yet perfect. He is trying to be perfect, but yet he has been compared or said to be similar to the devas in terms of virtues, qualities, etc. Okay, but let's analyze this in our modern context. You know, you must have seen many students la galino kazutali kalikologi. It's catastrophic, I can say, right? It's hurting. You see students behaving like that. But the question will again be and will always be, are these students, are these people or students, whatever, or children, responsible for this? Tu sais, man fraka, c'est un exemple à Galeno, si nous parlons quand l'école. Est-ce que those students are responsible? It's a big question with a bigger question mark. But the answer is, it's difficult to say, but this is the truth. The answer for me as a teacher is definitely they are not responsible for that. Because, you know, nos grands-parents, tous les temps indiens, nous, quand un pied peut pousser, les pieds commencent pour se travers, nous mettons un bâton, nous attaquons au lit, les pouces droite. This is what we have learned. Mais si pied là peut pousser travers, tu dis non, pour un divan, il peut pousser de côté, il pourrait venir droite, non, il peut finir correct. But finally, the tree grows actually travers même. And fucking grand travers, you can't put it right. It's all about that, right? Why am I'm telling you all these things? Again, if you need to write these things in your answers, you should be writing, comparing traditional situation and modern situation, how they are, you need to write. Okay. I continue. The guru as the facilitator helps the brahmachari to attain moral, spiritual, and educational growth. C'est ça the guru's duty. The brahmachari learned to control his mind, his senses, his sexual urges. You know, even at the age of 12, of 10, 15, 20, the brahmachari, the student, will have sexual urges because it's normal. God has created us like this. But he has to learn to control it because there will be a right time for that. He had to observe celibacy in thought, word, and deed. Celibacy, n'est pas seulement, on va dire, pena and girlfriend, pena and boyfriend. No, it should be in thought also. Quand on va dire, quand je trouve un solide, tu fais passer, oh, I'm mesmerized, you know, how beautiful. No, it should not be in thoughts as well, right? The brahmachari had only one aim, which was to be enlightened with knowledge. He did not have the right to hanker after the temptations of materialism. De nos jours, bans élèves, brahmacharis, pas brahmachari, plutôt, mais let's say students, parce que nous payons ça système Gurukul, right? We have, as students, we have all the comforts. Moi, si much enough to ban comforts like I had my food, I enter home, I will get my food, I don't have to strive for, I don't have to do much effort for it. I had practically everything, right? Si vous envie télévision, si vous envie à cinéma, while enjoy, you dance, you do this and that. But actually, in the Gurukul, in the Brahmacharya Sukta, that age, the Brahmachari, les bizarres pas faire tout ça. What we are saying, watching TV, a film, cinema, entertainment, it should not be there because these are signs of materialism. Now, to really practice this in modern age, it's quite difficult. Aujourd'hui, nous pas pouvoir get télévision même, mais nous avons mobile with us, right? It's practically difficult, but yes, it should be practiced, you know. Ces élèves-là disent comme ils vous passent tout seul le temps, le jouer, le portable, etc. But finally, pas pour studies, pas pour good marks, right? So the guru, by the help of the guru, brahmachari is brought in the world of spirituality. Ça veut dire c'est guru là qui introduit dans spiritual world. The guru performs the Upanayan ceremony, that is the ceremony of the sacred thread, which you call the Janev ceremony. C'est la code blanc, avant qu'il commence education in the Gurukul system. The thread is also known as the Yagyopavit, ou bien appelé Janev tout simplement, right? After doing the Upanayan Sanskar, called infiniment Janev, the student is known as a Dwij. Dwij veut dire someone who is born twice, il naît deux fois, pour la deuxième fois. Première naissance, c'est given by the parents. Deuxième naissance, given by the guru. And this is the spiritual birth. C'est qui nous parents de nous l'école, biological birth ou bien physical birth. But what the guru gives us is the spiritual birth, right?